All right, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we are going to be learning how to join tables. And this is super important. But first of all, before I explain why this is so important, let me show you what tables I'm talking about. I'm actually referring to the database tables. All right, we're going to learn how to join any of these tables with another table, right? For example, we can join the post tables and the categories table together, right? We can join them and then display information in one go. Let me show you what I mean. So if you go to your view all post page, and this is the page that we are going to be working, which is this page right here in our front end, right, or back end admin page. All right, we can see that we are displaying a lot of information here. We're displaying information from the post table. We have the category title from the categories table. We have the comments count from the comments table. So we're using a couple tables here, but we're not joining any of these tables. So we have to make a different query all the time. All right, so let me show you. Right now we are making a query right here to display all the posted information, to get all that data out so we can display it, right? And then we are also creating another query right here for the categories. All right, and then we are also creating another query for the comments table. So you can imagine that if we had an application that requires a lot more than this, making queries all the time to the database can be a problem. All right, so with joining tables, you can solve that problem by putting all these tables together and then displaying it in one query. That's gonna give your server more memory. It's gonna allow your server to have more memory to do other stuff, you know. So let's learn how to do this. How we do this? Well, first of all, we're just gonna join the post table and the categories table, just to give you an example, and then you can actually search the other information from there. It's super easy to do, and if you want to take this to another level, php.net is your best friend, and even the MySQL website is your best friend. All right, you just look for joining tables and you're gonna be good to go once you see how I do it. All right, so I'm gonna comment this out because you know you might want to use it. So if you're following me, comment it out. All right, and let's create another query here to join some tables. All right, so the way we refer to a table and its column name when we are joining table is by first writing the name of the table separated by a dot and then the name of the column like this. So the post tables post ID column, and then we separate it with a comma like this. So we separate this with a dot. All right, so we separate the table name and the column name with a dot. Now we want to get the next value, right? The next value is post author. So like this. There we go. And we keep separating each value and table name, right? Each column name and table. And in this case, we want to keep pulling information from the post table, so we keep using that post dot, right? Notation right here. We keep using this. Now, if we wanted to pull out information from another table, we say categories dot cat ID or cat title. All right, title. Now we're pulling the title, that column, from this categories table. All right, so we can keep pulling information from every table like this and column. So now I actually copy some stuff down because this is gonna get too long. I don't want you to see me typing it, but I'm gonna paste this information here and I'm gonna close this and see that I have the comma here. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next line, concatenate this. I'm gonna make this a little bigger so that way you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna say let's concatenate the string again, and I have another. All right, I have another set of table names and column names here. All right, you see that I have the comma here and a little space, and now I don't have it right here. So we keep putting values in here, right? Keep putting that, and this is post views is the last one for the post table. Then we're gonna go and we're gonna pull information out from the categories table. We're gonna get the cat ID if we needed to. All right, then comma, and then we're gonna get something else from the categories table. We're gonna get the cat title. All right, now once we have all this information, we have to tell MySQL where we want this information to be coming from. In this case, we want this information to come from the post, right? That's the table, that's the main table that we're working with. All right, so we want this from posts. There we go. All right, that's where we want it from. Now I'm gonna concatenate this because I still have some more writing to do. So let's query and make sure that this is together here. There we go. I'm just gonna put this down a little bit so that way you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna close this again. So once we select this from post, and you can, you know what, you can separate this and just put it in the next line right here, so that way it doesn't confuse you, like this. And then it's good to separate each line, that way you know where you are. So we want this from post, so, and then we write a condition here. Actually, from post we want to say something like left join. All right, we want to left join this, and we want to left join, which table do we want to join? We want to join it with the categories table. And we have inner join, we got left join, and we got right join. All right, you can look it up online and really look at the definition, but basically it's what it says. All right, we left joining this table because we are left joining it. We're left joining the categories table because our main table is the post table, right? This is the table that has the more information, so we want to put everything on the left. All right, so we want to grab our categories table and put it, you know, on the left of this table right here. All right, want to put the categories table on the left. Anyway, so left join categories on. All right, and this is super important. All right, on post dot what? This field right here, the post category ID, is the same field. And let me just, where I put this, this post category field right here is the same as our cat ID right here, right? So you need to make sure that these two fields are the same. All right, let me repeat that again. These two fields need to be the same. So this 48 and 51, all right, if you go to post right now, you can see that the post category right here is 48 and 51 right here. All right, so you need to have a common, like basically a foreign key, basically a common field, a common column in both tables. Right, this table right here is the same as this table right here. All right, so post, let me just take that from here. All right, and then is equal to what? To the categories dot cat ID. That's it. All right, so I want you to, you know, get this information down. I'm gonna divide these lectures into maybe one more lecture, so that way you can copy this down and you can digest it. All right, again, let me just repeat it and go over it a little bit for those of you that don't understand it. For those of you that understood it, go to the next lecture. So we're gonna select all these fields from this table, posts, and we also have the categories table right here. All right, we're gonna select those fields, and then we're gonna say the query is gonna come from posts because this is our main table, and we're gonna left join it with the categories table on, where basically this on is like a where statement in a way, because it's saying on post category ID or cat ID, right? So these two fields here have the same number, the same category ID, both of them. We have the category ID right here, and in this post category ID we have the same number. So this is where they are all both the same. They are related now. So just because they are related, we can pull information now, and this is going to be basically like a virtual table where we're going to have this data is going to be available to us. We're going to have all this data that we're pulling right here is going to be available. All the column names that you see here and all the column names that you see right here. All right, on the next lecture we're going to finish this off. Thank you so much, and I see you in the next lecture.